Hello students, welcome to the class of Pole Science of class 10, and today we will start with the chapter Federalism. And related to the chapter Federalism, today we will start from the topic 3-tier of government. Clear? Before that we have learned about the definition of federalism, its forms and its types, then followed by its features, and we have also learned about the reason of why the third tier of government, which can also be called as town committees or municipality in the town areas, and panchayati raj government, or you can say gaon panchayats. So related to that, why it is necessary, like why the third tier of government is very much necessary in India, we have learned about that also. So today we will learn about which are the things or which are the examples that are actually included as an example related to the urban government and rural government. Clear? So let us proceed then. Starting with the first point, that is federal power sharing in India needs another tier of government below that of the state governments, and it is called as the local government. That means what? In federal form of government we know that the powers are shared between the central and the state government. So particularly in a country like India, another tier of government is also needed, and that would be placed where? That means in order of hierarchy, if you try to understand that, firstly in number one point, what will come actually? In the number one position, the central government will come, or the union government, then followed by at number two, the state government, and whatever this third tier of government is there, which is also known as the local government, that will come under or below the state governments, placing it in number 3. So it is the third tier of government which is based on the decentralization of power. So it is what? It is the third tier of government. That means local government is the third number or the third tier of government which is based on decentralization of power. If you remember, decentralization was referred to what? It means the transfer of power from the higher authority to the lower authority. So for example, if we tell about urban government, that means towns or cities, in that particular towns and cities, what kind of local government is there? There is a municipality or a town committee. Clear? That falls under towns, and that is known also as what? Urban government. Then followed by rural government. Then if we come to villages, what is there? That form of government is known as rural government, and the example of rural government is also known as what? Panchayati Raj government. Clear? After that, amending the constitution. That means in order to make the constitution more effective, amendments have been done several times in the Indian constitution. Suppose, assume that based on some particular law there was only 2 amendments made at that time, at the time of independence. Suppose, think as 1A and 1B. Then after that, as the time passed by, there was certain necessity or needs to make that amendment or make that constitution amend, actually to change. So to become more precisely, what was done? The constitution was amended. And suppose think that earlier if it was like 1A and 1B clause, then in order to make that particular law more effective, 1C, or suppose assume that 1D was also added in that type of particular law, according to which the constitution was amended. So in order to understand the amending the constitution, we need to understand that the constitution was amended or changed several times due to the efficiency, or due to, you can say that in order to make the constitution more fruitful, this amendment was done in the Constitution of India. After that, it is written that the constitution was amended to make the third tier of government more powerful and effective. So first of all, if the constitution was amended, that was done why? The reason was that when the constitution was amended, it was kept in mind that the third tier of government, which is namely the local government, can be made more powerful and effective. With that vision in mind, the constitution was amended. After that, now it is constitutionally mandatory to hold regular elections to local government bodies. So after that amendment was done, according to amendment, what was done? The local government or the third tier of government was made more powerful and effective. After that, what was mandatory? That means it was necessary to hold regular elections to local government bodies. That means as the state governments or the central governments are holding regular elections after an interval of 5 years, like that only in the local government also, namely municipality or the village level, that is Gaon Panchayat, the elections were mandatory to, there was a mandatory, it was necessary to hold elections. Clear? After that, seats are reserved in the elected bodies and the executive heads of these institutions for the SC, STs and OBCs. So after that, when this was made more powerful and effective, after that elections was mandatory, after that what was done? Seats were reserved, and seats were reserved for the reserved category. So what are the reserved categories in India? That is the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes and the other backward classes. So for this categories also, the people belonging to these categories also, for them also the seats were reserved. Clear? Through the elections. At least 1/3 of all positions are reserved for women. So after that, one more condition was there. When the third tier of government was made powerful and effective through the amendment of the constitution, one important aspect was included, that was that 1/3 of all positions should be reserved for women. Suppose think that out of 10 seats, 3 would be reserved for women. That means no male counterparts will be able to fight elections from that 3 particular seats, which will be reserved for women out of 10. Clear? An independent institution called the State Election Commission has been created in each state to conduct panchayat and municipal elections. And as we have earlier read in point number 2 that it is very much mandatory to hold elections in local government bodies. So who is responsible, who is actually doing this duty? The State Election Commission. Under the state government, one commission is there, election commission, which is known as SEC, that means State Election Commission, which has been created for what? To conduct panchayat and municipal elections. That means related to village also, related to municipality areas also. These elections are being looked after by or monitored by the State Election Commission. Clear? After that, rural local government. So rural local government is popularly known as Panchayati Raj. That means rural can be included or can be indicated to what? Village. So village local government is actually known as what? The Panchayati Raj or village Panchayati Raj. There is a council consisting of several ward members, often called Panch, and a president or a Sarpanch. So in order to understand the village Panchayati Raj more precisely or more clearly, what is that? There are different ward members. Suppose 10 ward members are there in the village, and that from that 10 ward members, 10 people will be elected, and the head of the panchayat will be known as what? The sarpanch or a president. So these 10 ward members will be subjected to, or they will be answerable to whom? The head of the village, that is the, you can tell in English as president or in Hindi as sarpanch. So it is the decision making body for the entire village, and this whole decisions related to for the betterment of the particular village where the elections is held, and where the village panchayat is the village sarpanch is the head, and the other 10 members or 10 ward members are there. They will work togetherly, and all decisions will be taken by them only, because they are from the elected bodies, clear, in a democratic form. So they will take all the decisions related to the development and welfare of that particular village. After that, a few gram panchayats are grouped together to form what is usually called a panchayat samiti or a block mandal. So after that, what will happen? A few gram panchayats are grouped together. That means various, suppose think that 4 or 5 Gaon Panchayats are mixed at one. That means what? 5 Gaon Panchayats suppose will come under one category group, and they will form what? They will form either a Panchayat Samiti or a Block Mandal. Panchayat Samiti for the village level and Block Mandal for the municipality level. Like that it will be formed. All the Panchayat Samiti or Mandals in a district together constitute the Jila Parishad. That means Jila District Parishad. So you can, according to the hierarchy, you can see here that in the village level it will be headed by village Sarpanch. After that a few Gram Panchayats will form. Suppose I have told you the number 5. They will again form what? In the village level as Panchayat Samiti, and in the municipality level as Block Mandal. After that again that block level will again form what? All the Panchayat Samiti or Mandals in district together constitute the Zila, that is District Parishad. Suppose you assume that in Jorhat, if there are 10 villages and 10 municipality, that means towns under that, so they will constitute what? 20 Mandals or Panchayat Samiti. That means 10 from villages. I assume that, for example, you will take that 10 villages under the Jorhat district and 10 mandals, that is from the municipality area. So they will constitute what? 20 in all, 20 in number. So they will form together what? If in a district they will count, they will in the district together will constitute what? Zila Parishad. Clear? Zila means in English it is known as district. Clear? So that will be known as district or Zila Parishad. Clear? After that, if we talk about urban local government, there are two types of governments in urban areas. That is municipalities. Clear? Municipalities are present where they are set up in towns and are controlled by elected bodies consisting of people's representatives. Clear? That means we are talking about municipalities. And in that municipality, who is the highermost authority? The municipal chairperson is the political head of the municipality. Just as in Gaon Panchayat, the Sarpanch is there. So if we talk about municipalities, the chairperson is the head. And after that, again one more post is there, one more head is there, that is known as municipal corporations. And they are set up in big cities. Suppose you assume that the municipalities is present in Jorhat and the municipal corporation which are set up in big cities, for example Guwahati. Take the example of Guwahati. So there what is there? There is a presence of municipal corporation, not the municipalities. You have to understand the difference between this. Municipalities are set up in towns and municipal corporations are set up in big cities. And these are controlled by elected bodies consisting of the people's representatives. Clear? So they are also elected in the same way through the people's vote, and mayor is the head of the municipal corporation. So you can here can differentiate these two things by taking the example of your own town, that is Jorhat, where municipalities is there, where the chairperson is the head, and on the other hand there is a municipal corporation which are present in big cities. You take example of Guwahati, which is also elected through people's representatives only, and there who is the head? Mayor is the head of the municipal corporation. Clear? So with this we have come to the end of today's topic, and I hope that whatever the points were made understand today, it's now very much clear in your mind. So with that I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.